there, guys. Thought I would come on here and make a video um, about who is ascending to the new earth. In the Law of One, which is channel material from 1981, Carla Ruckhart and Don Elkins and Jim McCartney, they channeled an entity called Ra, which Carla went into a state of deep hypnosis where she was totally unconscious, and this being would come through, which is connected with ancient Egypt. And if you want to look into the Law of One, the Ra material, I highly recommend it. It's probably the most profound channeling that we know of. So in the Law of One, it talks about the service to self polarity and service to others. And it talks about that we're going through this thing right now called the harvest, which is we're at the end of this 25,000 year cycle, which is of 25,000 year cycles, which is the master cycle. And it is the harvest. It is when we as a whole planet are going to graduate into the fourth density, which is the new earth. Right now we're in third density, and we're moving into the fourth density. So it talks about that to ascend into the fourth density, you need to be at least 50% service to others, at least 50% kind, loving, caring about others, doing good deeds for others. And those who are of service to self, who are selfish and take, that would be narcissists, people who feed off of others' pain and others' suffering and others' energy. Those people are going to have to redo this whole cycle and either be reincarnated on another planet that's third density, where they can finish their cycles, or maybe they can make it in this cycle if they become more loving and kind and tuned into their higher self and their heart. If we want to ascend to this new earth, into this fourth density, we have to be selfless. We have to good deeds for others. That's all it is. And awaken to higher consciousness. All of us starseeds who are awake right now, we were triggered to awaken before everybody else. We were triggered to awaken so we would be an example for others, so they could see how it is to live in a higher vibrational state. And right now is a very, very powerful time. It is the time that we are letting go of all this nonsense that we have been fed our whole lives through our school system, through our parents, through our friends that we had, all the programs, television and everything that's been meant to keep us in a state of lower vibration, religions, all of this, we're transcending it. And we're integrating this light. We're integrating it into the new earth. We're anchoring it. And we're going to see a lot of changes. We're going to see a lot of shifts. Shifts in consciousness are happening now, and it's so beautiful. Seeing people awaken to, at first it starts out with, conspiracies. It can start out with looking into conspiracies and all this, because right now people are starting to awaken to all the bullshit that you just can't miss this stuff. What is happening right now with the situation that we're going through You can't miss this stuff. It's so obvious that there is a group of people that are behind this, a group of people that have enslaved humanity, but it's not just a group of people, it's a collective of dark archon energies and reptilians that have been controlling things behind the scene, feeding off of our fear, feeding off of our anger, feeding off of, they're keeping us in a low vibration to feed off of our emotional energy and to feed off of the suffering of children, feed off of suffering of all of humanity, and us projecting negative energy. They feed off of that. It's like food for them. And once you start to awaken to this truth, once you start to awaken that humanity has been enslaved, then you go through a process where you start to go within and look for God, look for the Creator, look for Source inside of you, because you're not going to find it outside of you. How you find a good teacher is, a good teacher will point you to a good teacher will point you within, tell you to find the guru within. So if you're going to go through a phase where you're going to be looking up videos on YouTube, looking up spiritual content, looking up knowledge, reading books, a good teacher is not going to be someone who wants you to keep on coming back to them. A good teacher is going to point you within to do your own healing, to get your own guidance from within, from your own guides, from your own higher self. So people are waking up, even though it doesn't seem like it, and there's a split happening to where, which I don't like to separate things, but I'm seeing this in my own reality happening, to where people who are awakening are going off in this direction, and the people who aren't are getting sucked into the matrix, getting sucked into all the propaganda and everything that is going on. So we need to be aware of what is happening. We need to be aware of these cycles that are playing out, and the most important thing we can do right now is meditate, because then we get tuned into our higher self, into the present moment, and we can be tuned into a higher source and have clarity of our mission, of what we're here to do. Be service to other guys. You know, if you see a homeless person, if you feel the need to give to them, it starts out with small deeds. It starts with, caring for people, having a good heart, working on having unconditional love. That is the key. I was channeling Kuan Yin the other day. She's one of my guides, and she's a master like Jesus. And she came to me in my meditation. She was telling me that I needed to walk love, I needed to breathe love, I needed to live love, because love is where we are headed to in this awakening, in this transition. Love is everything. Love is source. Love is unconditional. Love is the cosmic energy that is flooding our solar system and our galaxy right now, that is creating this shift. And it's making this higher vibrational energy is making us face ourselves. It is making us face our shadows. This month has been super intense for me. So much has been coming up. Old wounds, old things that have happened to me in the past, just out of nowhere that I'm not even thinking about, are just coming up in my mind, in my consciousness. And that is coming up to be cleared, and it's happening on a collective level right now because the energies are so intense. The galactic energies are flooding our solar system. It is creating chaos. If you ever look into cymatics is where they take water and they put sand in it, and then either that, or they can do it with just like put it on a table that vibrates and have sand on it. And when they vibrate it to a certain frequency, it makes geometrical patterns. But before it becomes a geometrical pattern, a sacred geometry, it goes through chaos where it fumbles around, and then it creates a sacred geometry. And since our body is made up of like 90% water, it is susceptible to frequencies. So everything is frequency. So our body is making these geometrical patterns inside of us, and it's creating chaos right now. It's all around. It's happening throughout our whole solar system and our whole galaxy. This last dream that I had about the solar flash, where, I don't know if you watch my video about the solar flash. If you haven't, then look it up to my YouTube channel. But there was like thousands of people gathered up in the mountains, and we were all waiting for this event. We knew it was coming, and we had land out there. There was thousands of us, and it was all light workers. It was all people who were aware and awakened. And it was such an amazing experience. I felt like I was really there, like it was real. And then somebody said, "It's coming," and this flash of light came, and it went all through us. And as it was going through us, it was so intense. I could feel my psychic becoming more psychic and connected with everybody, and we were all going through it. We could all feel what we were all going through, and it was coming in a wave. So then after the first wave, we all got our shit together, and we were helping each other. And one of the people who was there was my friend Lisa Ann, and she is an incredible person. But, you know, she has her, you know, we all have our own shit, you know, like, she is a beautiful person, and she cares about people. And she was there, you know, she's not the most spiritual person. And, you know, that's okay, you know, like, all that matters is you're a good person. And that's what it showed me when I was hanging out with her the other day. And after I had this dream, it made me realize that all we need to ascend to this new earth is to be a good person, to care about others, to do good deeds for others, and not be selfish. That's what it comes down to. So if you still have selfish tendencies, you know, it's okay to be selfish, to give yourself self-love, because you can't pour from an empty cup. But if you're taking and you're not giving back, and you don't care about others, you need to heal that. Because if you want to make it to this new earth, if you want to repeat this 25,000 year cycle, then you can go right ahead and be selfish. It's all choice. There's no judgment. It's a beautiful experience, and we didn't come here in this. We didn't come to this earth just to be in the fifth dimension and just, you know, light and love. We came here to have this human experience. A lot of us starseeds who came here, we still had unresolved karma from past lives here, or that we're connected to somehow, and we're clearing that. And this life is so amazing. Like, look where I am. Like, we can't, you know, just breathe and just smelling the flowers, hearing the stream, you know, seeing the hummingbirds flying around, you know. This is the human experience, for us to feel and to have emotions, to this human experience, it's like nothing else. We choose to forget who we are so we can have this experience and then remember who we are, and it's so beautiful. Even the darkest times that we go through, it's contrast. You can't truly experience the light without truly experiencing what light is not, which is darkness. And that's why the Creator created this physical reality, so we could experience what it's not. We could experience darkness and fear and all of these. And coming here into this third dimension reality as starseeds and higher dimensional beings, we took a risk of getting stuck in this wheel of karma. That's why the higher beings, they look up to us. They're cheering us on. And as we remember who we are, and as we become service to others and help others awaken, that is the greatest cause. And it is gonna catapult our spiritual growth as a spiritual being in this universe. And we're not doing it because of that. So because we grow, we're doing it of unconditional love. And that's why it's so important, if we want to make it to the new earth, that we give to others, we love others, not to get something in return, but because of our good heart, because we want to give, we want to see them happy, we want them to grow. It's not about receiving. When you're giving, don't think about what you're going to get in return. Do it out of the kindness of your heart. Do it out of good spirit. It is that is the key. That is what Jesus taught. That is what Buddha taught. That is what all the masters taught. Through all the religions, it comes back to unconditional love, because we are all one. We are all part of Source. And we are divine, multidimensional beings living in this third dimensional reality. And we need to humble ourselves. Be humble. Don't convert people to your way of thinking. If they're meant to awaken, they will. And they will come to you and ask you. But also lead by example. Plant seeds. Plant seeds. That is so powerful. And like, we can't underestimate the power of planting a seed in somebody's mind, and then they will be thinking about it, and then one day they'll go through an experience or something, and it'll just click. Be like, oh, now I understand what that person was talking about. Like, I'm glad to be here on this earth plane with all of you watching. Those who are meant to find this video will. And those who will meant to find my other videos will. And I'm working on my BQH and QHHT, which is quantum healing and hypnosis. And soon I'll be able to do sessions online. And I'm going to start out with not charging people so I can get more practice. So if you're interested, send me a message, and we'll get that going. All right, guys. Your heart and unconditional love. Be humble. Love you guys. Like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Bye.